Hello everyone, glad to meet you. How are you doing? And is it a good time for you or is it a little bit difficult time for you nowadays? I know that not only in Korea but in many all over the world we are having a time of a quarantine somehow. Today I would like to share a little bit later with quarantine. And let me read it today's Bible verses from Matthew chapter 25 verse 1 to 5. And after reading it, then I will share more about what I felt and meditated upon this week. Then the kingdom of heaven will be like 10 virgins who took their lamps and went to meet the bridegroom. 5 of them were foolish and 5 were wise. For when the foolish took their lamps, they took no oil with them, but the wise took flasks of oil with their lamps. As the bridegroom was delayed, they all became drowsy and slept. Yes, quarantine is not started in 20th century. It started from 14th century when the plague was going all over the European nations, and then some coastal cities started to set the people apart if any ships comes in together with the crews, and they set apart all these crews into one place so that they can make sure that if these people are safe and not infected from any viruses. At the time it was a really epidemic disease, so people were so much afraid of being infected over this plague. That's how it just started. But one thing that people do not often know is that this quarantine, the word itself, is originally from Latin word corenos. And corenos, it means the 40 days, or it is often used as the season of Lent at the time as well. So somehow it's interesting that we are physically, all over the world is going through the time of quarantine, but actually the quarantine itself is actually used as also season of Lent. We are in the season of Lent. If we are going through the season of Lent, what would something God want us to prepare through this time? And I felt today through this time, one thing that maybe we need to prepare is the oil that these wise virgins prepared in this chapter. Wise virgins understood the 3 important parts of the oil, the meaning of the oil. First of all, they understood the priority. There are many things that they should have handled in their life. Others who are drinking and eating, and what to eat, what to wear, all these, natural things that they need to deal with every day. But these wise virgins still understood what is the most important purpose in their life is to meet their bridegroom. So always they carry the lamp with oil. Unlike the other group that they also carry the oil, they somehow understood that we are going to wait for bridegroom, so this is maybe important. But they didn't prepare the oil. So then what is the oil? In the Old and New Testament it says oil is often representing the living relationship with God. I'm not talking about just, we just do it, worship and Bible study religiously. It is, oil could be maybe explained as a real heart, to real desire to meet our God in the place of wilderness. In the wilderness, we are alone. No one sees us, but that's where Jesus went without disciples, and that's where Jesus was renewed and restored and reunited deeply in intimate relationship with his Father. And that's where he also embraced greatest temptation in the beginning of his ministry by Satan himself. But because of this, out of deep intimate relationship, though Satan gave 3 temptations, strong temptations, but Jesus could overcome. I believe it goes same to Christians. anyone who is built up and ready and filled up with a living relationship with God in their daily life, I think they are the ones who are ready to embrace this kind of situation. We do not know because the situation can be different by seasons, but still, by having this intimate relationship with God through prayer and fasting, just like Jesus did, at the same time, Israelites in the 40 years of the wilderness, they every day went to the wilderness and then picked up their own manna. It's not just a one-time event. This is why the regularity is important. Secondly, because first, wise virgins understood the priority is to prepare the oil, but also they understood they need to maintain the oil to be filled up in their lamps. So then when the Jesus or bridegroom comes back, then they were ready to stand up. What the oil do in the lamp? Anyone who have oil can easily kindle the fire, and the fire would not be just put off because there's oil. In the very same way, when we have a living relationship with God, when we continually live in a live relationship with Him through the prayer and then eating His word like manna, then we are ready when God is asking us to do something, or in any kind of season that we embrace the temptation, still God will meet us because we are ready. And that's why I wonder how God wants us to be prepared in this season of Lent or season of quarantine. I know we are physically in quarantine, but I do hope that in this spiritual quarantine season, each one of our heart, I'm not talking about only myself, but each one of our English worship members would be prepared in your heart. That oil would be filled up in your heart. The joy of knowing our God, joy of knowing His word, and joy of worshiping Him would be filled up in each one of your heart, so that God would be saying, "Oh, you're ready. Let's go together." I just want to say that this joy of gladness cannot be transferred. This is one thing also this parable said. The foolish virgin wanted to borrow so easily from others, the other wise virgins, this intimate living relationship that they had. But you know what? You know how this wise virgin answered. "I'm sorry, but we cannot deliver it to you. Otherwise, we will not be enough, and you will not be enough either." I think sometimes we think we can just easily borrow the intimate relationship with the God that they have, and then we can just borrow from them. No. Relationship, the nature of relationship is individual. Just because you are close with someone doesn't mean that the others can be close with that person. No, they need to build up their own relationship with someone that you are close with. So I think this season of quarantine is a very good time because we cannot somehow meet each other. But maybe God is inviting. You had plenty of time to meet others, but maybe God is saying to us, but now this is a time that I invite you to meet me alone again, to build up the intimate relationship with me. Know me through my word, and know me through the prayer. I am ready to meet you. Would you be ready to meet me? I wonder actually God is saying to us like that. So I really do hope and pray that each one of our English worship members would build up and develop, really cultivate our relationship with God through this season of quarantine. Though the quarantine time is not easy. For 40 days, think about it, just one place that only being provided food that you can survive, and with a very minimum provision, you had to just go through this time so that you would be healthy, or more like you are proven as a healthy person. this spiritual quarantine, I hope that it works in our soul in the very same way as we go through the season of Lent, that our soul would be revived and reunited, just like how Jesus went through the wilderness and deeply united with our Father. I pray now that, Lord, let our heart be prepared as we go through this wilderness, so that our heart, each one of our heart, know you more, and then to be known by you. Lord, we would like to know you more. We would like to be embraced by your presence in deeper way than before, Jesus. Lord, lead us and guide us, each one of us. God bless you, and thank you for listening. Have a great week.